At first we go into a relationship that way. And that's why there's so much aliveness and passion and the beauty and the chemistry. It all starts humming, right? But then as soon as the issues take over, like love, deep bonding will then access these deeper pockets of our psyche, these wounding pockets, these transference places, these many names for it, right? The imago. There's a whole kind of approach to relationship that they call the imago. Oh, that's my replay. I'm putting out that old thing here. The power, that the pain body. All these are just different words for the same phenomenon that just click.
Right. The conditioned mind.
In it. Yeah. And I would even say conditioned heart, conditioned body, conditioned whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Your conditioned self. It's powerful. It's more than just mind. It's
good distinction.
Fabric of your whole being. And that clicks on. And then from that point, the power struggle, as they call it, the times when couples are in frustration, whether that's just 10% or 90%, this thing is going. And that's usually why people are coming to me like, hey, we're stuck or we're having this issue. We want to get beyond it. So because the momentum is just to be like, choo, choo, choo. That's the inception point of our, what we'll call the pain body, or our object relation, or our wound, is to engage with the other in a frustrated way. Either kind of trying to control them or trying to punish them in some other way by maybe pulling away. But even energetically, that's punishing them or controlling them, right? So that vibration of like in the other person's space is so automatic in couples that I found a way to kind of get them out of that and back into their own just orb of sovereignty, I call it, just like in themselves, their own space primarily. Now, there's always the relational field. It's still there, but it becomes less reactively dominant so that you can start to perceive and feel and speak truths in a way that feels safe and where the other person is hearing it. And then so we're kind of getting below the automatic default systems into what I consider our truer self, our truer heart. Yeah. It's that place from which we have tenderness and vulnerability and empathy and also a commitment to our own truth and a knowing of what that is and a trust in it. Now, it's not always perfectly automatic that we get there, but I have my approach just helps people move in that direction, just layer by layer by layer, until we're speaking and communicating and having a process from that deeper embodied kind of like infused with your deeper heart and soul place.
Yeah.
And then an interaction starts to occur very naturally that unwinds and illuminates and softens and heals and does alchemy on those trigger points, such that they start to fill in and become whole in that dance between two people.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to get a feel for that. I was just thinking, I think there's a lot of, and I've done this a million times, a lot of times where we do see that like, oh, I'm treating the one I love the most, like shit. And I do it again and again. So there's that seeing, but then it sort of stops on a level of shame,
exactly.
Self-shaming, or like, their friends being like, why would you do that? And you shame and you say, I'm going to try harder. I'm going to do better next time. Exactly. And it like, maybe that works, but it doesn't seem to.
It doesn't ultimately. I mean, the shame is just another avoidance of the entry point where true transformation occurs. It's just staying up on this level.
Yeah.
And what it does is it actually, when we shame ourselves, we're actually putting more of the same energy. It's like a toxic spit on us, or a toxic And this is like in my own being, I'm shaming myself. Now this tender part of me is now just feeling more pain.
Yeah.
And as soon as that pain tank fills up, it's going to leak out if it doesn't know how to go down and through the portal of transformation, it will just keep going up in the old familiar ways it knows to, which is an explosion of reaction, a pain body taking over our whole system and saying, but you da. Or it can just leak out in the most subtle ways. Like I'm trying to practice nonviolent communication, and just infused in the perfect words. Totally. I need you to da.
Yeah.
You know, like, or whatever.
When you do this, I feel like...
And it's like the energy is leaking out because we have
that's a good distinction.
Found the ability to go down and through and into that tender underbelly place where all true communication occurs, all true relating occurs.
Yeah.
And we've all had tastes of that because we have that usually for the first couple of months or few months that are like, whoa, we're pliable, we're open, we're just in our hearts. And that's why it gets so good. But these pockets are in us. So the love, the field of relating and the depth of the love and the connection, almost like, it's like we're just, I call it the plunger of love. The more powerful the love, the more beautiful, the more strong, the more passionate the sex is, the faster we plunge down into the depths and bring this stuff up.
Yeah.
We don't have the tools and the understandings and the abilities to work with that stuff. It'll take over even the most conscious people and the most heartful people and the people who had the best relationship. I mean, I've seen this over and over again in the spiritual community, especially like, oh my God, we love each other. And it's just 100%, no brakes on, just diving in. We're soulmates. And then within a few months or a year, oh my God, we're just in it. And it came up so quickly and so intensely because we dove so quickly and strongly with that much powerful love. It's like equal and opposite, you know?
Yeah.
So there is a wisdom to kind of pacing this thing and slowing it down and then working with it bit by bit. And so if you have the choice going into a relationship, learning these skills, learning these tools, going slowly, learning this process that I call relational aligning.
Yeah.
It's a practice that I actually teach, and it's what I'm doing in my sessions, but you can learn to do it on your own with anyone you connect with, friends included. It's beautiful. It's like the most beautiful practice. It's like nourishing and meditative and loving, and it just brings out the best that's possible in any relating. It's amazing.
Relational aligning.
Yeah. Relational aligning practice, I call it. And it's elegant. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And once we're already in it, then it's a little more nuanced. And my guidance and what I do is kind of an art form. It's like to just delicately unwind and operate and work with each piece and each person. And that's where the miracles really start happening.
Yeah. So let's say that those two words really piqued somebody's interest. Is this in writing for you? Is this like a session with you?
Aligning practice. It's at this point, it's not in writing. It's in the experience. And it is it's like, I consider it kind of a martial art. It's like,
nice.
Like you could write, like Bruce Lee could write about how to become a black belt but you're not really going to get very good at martial arts unless you get in the dojo, with a sensei who's like, try this, practice this, here's how, watch this, put this in your body, get this in your muscle memory. For what we're doing, it's feel this in your heart, feel this subtle nuanced place where you trigger into that way and find the ability and the understanding to go a different way in the face of all that energy that wants to just go back into automatic defense pilot.
Yeah.
It's so strong. It's one of the strongest things I see in everybody's life. This auto reactivity, control, defend, get me away from that, what I call the hot spot.
Yeah. Right.